Blackboard e-portfolio, transitioning existing activities to new technologies. The presenters are Helen Keier, Chandra, Shehigian, and Caroline Peppers. Yes, Meg.
Thanks, George. Just a word about what we do. At John Jay College, the three of us we form what's called the John Jay Online Support Center. We're primarily responsible for providing Blackboard and Turnitin support for our in-person classes and for the 3, soon to be 4 degree programs John Jay offers completely online. In addition, we also offer a completely online certificate program. But in the rest of our duties, John Jay currently has over 1,400 courses on our servers that use Blackboard every semester. So in the fall and the spring, we have a very big impact on Blackboard. It accounts for approximately 2/3 of all courses at John Jay use Blackboard in some form. My role is the manager of the Support Center unit. Chandra Shehigian is our training and support specialist. Her primary role is to help faculty, and Caroline is our Blackboard support coordinator. Her primary role is to help students. In addition to this, Chandra and I are both adjunct faculty in the Department of Public Management, where we teach a 200-level course that's required by public management. It's required by criminal justice for their degree, and I think security management. It's called Computer Applications in Public Management. Part of this course, throughout the semester, the students are collecting artifacts, and then we're turning in at the end of the semester a portfolio that prior to this iteration of Blackboard had been literally turned in paper. It was a 3-ring binder about that big with all of their work from the semester. I still have some from a year ago. Students are still sitting there. They never picked them up. And it just became onerous. Students were complaining about the paper and having to make copies. So when at Christmas time, when we upgraded to the latest release of Blackboard, we installed what's called the portfolio assignments. Portfolio assignments within Blackboard are ideally suited to any kind of assignment that spans a period of time, spans a period of submissions, where the student may have to collect them. So what Chandra and I did this semester is we piloted with our 2 sections of PAD 241, turning this paper chase project the students were doing into a portfolio assignment. So I'm going to turn it over to Chandra, and she can show you how it gets set up.
Okay, so I'm going to actually jump to Blackboard now. Helen kind of went a little bit about the paper chase. I'll go a little bit more into it. I'll show you how to create a basic assignment as well as creating a portfolio assignment. So the paper chase project has 7 different elements that the student will submit throughout this semester. It starts with a topic approval and goes all the way down to an annotated bibliography. They have a book numbers assignment, which they have to find 3 books from the library. Periodicals assignment, where they have to create an APA page, along with they have to find 9 periodicals. A website evaluation, they have to evaluate 2 websites on their topic. They have to do a federal depository assignment, so they actually have to go to either a federal depository library or use the online and find 2 articles on their topic. And then finally, they have to create a FOIA request. This is something we tell our students you don't have to submit because it could be months and months and months if they ever hear back. But they do have to actually write out a request, whether it's going to the actual website, finding the form that they have to find, or actually writing the physical letter. In Blackboard, we created regular assignments for the individual assignments they have to submit throughout the semester, and then at the end we created a portfolio assignment. So I'm going to quickly do a regular assignment for you guys here. I'm just going to copy the text for it. So we're going up to assessments and then creating an assignment. And I'm going to create the topic approval. So this is the very, very first assignment that they have to do. If I can spell today. And I'm just going to copy and paste the text that we had there. This is something we do ask that the students upload all of their assignments in Word, so they can be later used in the portfolio. Again, I'm just going to do quickly points possible. For us, each assignment is worth 10 points, so it's just a typical little writing assignment. And here in the submission details, it's going to be an individual, single attempt, and I'm just going to leave the rest. We'll talk about that in a minute. So that's typically what we do for the regular assignment. Nothing too fancy. And then for the portfolio, it is very, very simple. I'm going up to assessments and then going to assignment again. And then as you put in, points possible, because that is required in Blackboard. Under submission details, you're going to actually change the assignment type to portfolio submissions. And when you do that, you actually lose the plagiarism checking. You can't do that. So here, again, you can change the attempt, single, multiple. I'm just going to leave it a single attempt for today. Grading options. Again, you have your regular grading options. Display of grades still stay the same, and your availability also stays the same. So the only thing you do have to change is the assignment type and changing that to a portfolio. And then you would click submit. And that's it. You're done. So now it's all up to your student. And that would be Caroline.
Okay. So once again, my name is Caroline, and I am in charge of all the students. Any issues that they have in Blackboard at John Jay, they come to me. So basically what I'm going to show you right now is just what the students would do once they have handed in all their assignments, how to create a portfolio, kind of the parts of it, the difference between just a basic artifact and adding a course artifact, and just other things about their portfolio.
The reason why we're covering both a standard assignment and a personal artifact, the difference being, as you saw when Chandra created the assignment, that assignment then becomes an artifact in the portfolio. As part of the paper chase project, students have the option that should that initial grade they receive out of 10 not be high, very commonly, especially with the periodicals assignment where they have to write in APA format, they'll get a 4, they'll get a 5. So they have the option at the final submission in the portfolio to include a revision. So in that case, because your initial assignment has already been satisfied by the initial upload, the students need the option to add a personal artifact. And in this context, that's their revisions. So what the students will do is they'll attach to the portfolio their original submission so we can see it, and their revision.
So this is just a student view of the course itself. And just as Chandra showed all the different assignments. So as a student, I would go in, of course, I would click on all these different assignments, and I would add all my written assignments as I go along. Now, what you have to do as a student, you have to create your portfolio first and foremost. So up here in the right-hand corner, every student's going to have this link at the schools that have e-portfolios. So what I would do as a student, I would click on my portfolios. And when you get to the page, it's blank because you have to create it. So I would click up here on Create Portfolio. And it's just basic. You just have to give it a name. I would recommend, like, if you're going to decide to do this for your students, to make sure that the students have a good naming convention. So just name it like Paper Chase, like the assignment, just so that when they're sending it to you and you have to look over it, you want to make sure. And also for the students themselves, so if they have multiple different portfolios, they can find it easily. So I would just name my portfolio Paper Chase. Of course, they can always add some type of description, maybe the semester, maybe the course, the year, whatever they want to add. By default, it's always going to be available, and that means so it's searchable, so you can find it. And then also, by default, this box here that says comments are private. If this is checked off, then anyone who is looking at your portfolio, they won't be able to see any type of comments that are left by instructors or other students. So just be aware of that. So what I would do, I would uncheck it and then just press submit. Now, automatically, when the students first begin and create their portfolio, this little tour is going to come up. I would recommend that the students go through the tour. I mean, it's pretty basic. It just kind of highlights every single part of the portfolio. But if you have students that really aren't tech savvy, or it is a bit of a new technology in Blackboard that we're using. So if they've never used it or don't have any idea about an e-portfolio, I'd recommend that they kind of go through the tour. So basically, it just highlights the different parts of the portfolio, and you can always close it out if you're just like, oh, I can figure it out myself. But you can always go back to it up here in the right-hand corner if they're like, wait, how did I do that? Or I forgot that part. So once you name the portfolio, the next thing you want to do is start adding pages and sections. Now, with this paper chase project, they are submitting their writings over the semester. So they could create their portfolio right in the beginning once they see the syllabus and they see that this is a topic, or what they can do is they can create it at the end. Personally, if I was a student, and what I would recommend is I would build it in the beginning and I would add my pages and my sections like a framework, right? So what I would do first is I would go here and I would start with the page up here if you click. And you can just name it, whatever you want. Now there's different things. There's, they have the bibliography, they have, what are some of the other?
Topic approval.
Right, topic approval. So they have all these different things. So you could just name it, topic approval, and so on. And I would tell your students match the name of each pages to whatever the assignment is. Just so as you as a professor or anyone who's grading it can go through it and you can easily find everything. Like I said, they could wait till the end to just kind of put this all together, but I think it's good if they build a framework first. So having one page is just like a broad topic. And then what you can do down here is you can add different sections. So say you have an overall topic approval, but maybe you have different parts of that topic approval. So you could just put, like first choice or, whatever the assignment calls for. So once they do that and they build their pages, they build kind of their framework, then they can kind of build as they go. Some students are going to leave it to last minute. It just is what it is. But I think it kind of will help them just see how it looks. Of course, you can go back and you can edit everything as you like, and you can delete and you can move things around. But I think overall, it's kind of like work smarter, not harder kind of idea with that. So now that I have my sections, I have my pages, then that's where you're going to start adding your artifacts. So you would just click up here on Add Artifact. Now the difference we were talking about before, Helen, was about adding personal artifacts as from adding from course. So the fact that I was a student and I did different assignments, I'm going to click on Add from Course. Now you see I have a lot of classes, which, being a Blackboard support, I'm in and out of a lot of classes, but students might have a long list depending on how long they've been at the college. So I'm just going to choose the course that I want to pull these artifacts from. And you'll notice at the top, then these are some of my assignments that I've done. Now you can add multiple artifacts at one time by just checking off everything, or you can select different things depending on how you want to build it, how you want to show the different topics, the sections, and so on. So let me close that. So here you have it. You have your assignment here, and it's just going to show up as you add your artifacts. They're just going to show up here. Now below here you have what's called the text editor, which if you've worked in Blackboard, you're very familiar with, and you see it all the time, right? What's nice about this part for the students is not only can they add their artifacts up here, but they can add videos, they can add images. They can even use Video Everywhere, if you guys are familiar, or any professors have used that. It's a pretty fun tool. So it makes it, I think, a little bit, more engaging. It's not just a scrolling sheet of paper assignments. And especially nowadays with students, they're very about social media. They use Vine, they use YouTube. They might even create videos themselves. So why not, you could have a whole video portfolio if you wanted, depending, you can make an assignment like that. So you can add anything you like here, and then you would just press save. So that's pretty much, I know I don't want to go over on time, but so as you go along, you would just add your different artifacts, and you would just build your portfolio.
Helen, could you go into add artifact again to bring up add personal artifact?
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so now I added from course and then add personal artifact. So this could just be anything that as we were talking about before about the revisions. So the first one was the graded one from the course, and add the personal artifact once that student has a revision, so then they could add their own, or it could be, something else that they wanted to add to the portfolio, maybe a personal writing that they had, a journal article, whatever that they found that maybe they thought was conducive with the assignment as a whole. So kind of same idea, title, add a description, they can add further content, or they can attach a file. So, if it's just something that you have, then of course they would just go to Browse My Computer, they would look for their file, and they could add another one. So here's their personal artifact. Here is the graded assignment. So lastly, once they've built their portfolios, let me just view it here. So it would just break down, obviously in the essence of time, we don't have anything that I can build a super long one, but they can customize their style, they can change the layouts, kind of like templates, and they can also, change colors. Different colors are always fun and appealing. So let me go back. So lastly, two important things before I give it back to Helen and we wrap up is when they want to share their portfolios. So here, this is where all the portfolios are going to show up once you've created them. So they could have all different types of portfolios. They could have junior year portfolio. They could have their assignment portfolios. So they could have all different types. When they're ready or they want to share it to other professors or colleagues, other students, wherever they want to share it with, they would click on More and they would click on Share. So this is a way, now currently right now I don't have anything shared, but if you go up here to where Share a Snapshot With, there's all these different places that you can share. Now within Blackboard you can look for users because anyone in Blackboard is considered a user. For external users, which might be something that they would use more, especially if it's like, maybe they're going to a job interview and they want to send it ahead of time or something like that, they would choose Share with external users and just enter the email and then enter any type of extra information that they want to tell whoever is receiving this about. You can even put a password, which I think is nice. Definitely today in our world with intellectual property, I think that's kind of an important feature. They can also add expiration dates. So you can have no expiration, so they will be able to access it all the time. Or you can give what's called a pass. So they would only be able to access it for a couple of days, depending on how you want to set it up. And lastly is, you can download it. And what this, you can download the portfolio so you can keep it, for your own use. And it just creates a basic zip file that you can open outside of Blackboard.
This is a standard zip file. It's not the same zip file format when you download an archive or export from your Blackboard course.
Right.
And it includes an index.html file so that if the student were to try to re-import that content into, say, a website, it would work.
So that's a quick, just kind of how students view it. I'm going to give it back to Helen just to show, wrap it up, and about things that we have learned by using this feature. So let me go back.
This semester is still ongoing, and these assignments are not due from the students for another week from this coming Sunday. They're due like a few days after the last day of classes. So unfortunately, we don't have any live examples from our students yet to show you. But in the process through the semester with the students, we have picked up a few things to keep in mind when you're doing these. One of the things I encountered with my class, now the section of PAD 241 that I teach is a face-to-face standard classroom class. Chandra's section, on the other hand, is a completely online section. So one of the things we're hoping to do when this is over is compare the student outcomes in each class to see which one may have done more, may have had an easier time putting the portfolio together, because I've, at 2 times during the semester, took 10 minutes of my class time and walked the students through doing this. You'll also notice that on that page with all the assignments, that was a copy right out of my live course. I put the link to the help.blackboard.com page for the portfolios right there. And there's also, if you were to scroll down, a folder with additional resources, such as cute PDF and things like that, so that the students, when they're compiling their artifacts, they have the resources they need. There's that website evaluation assignment. We may want to see the website that they're evaluating. This way they can save that website they're looking at as a PDF easily and incorporate it into their portfolio. But one of the things with one of my students who helped me with testing some of these, was that the assignments, he could not select an assignment as an artifact until after I had graded it. So from a faculty standpoint, that kind of makes it really important for us to keep on top of grading our things timely, because I like to think I'm really good in the classroom. That's one way I know I could do better as a professor. I'm sometimes not as quick as I need to be with getting assignments back. Also, that comments feature keeps a running log of the comments on the portfolio as a whole. It doesn't append them to a particular artifact within the portfolio. And I think this is something that we probably should recommend to Blackboard as a product enhancement, because I'd like to be able to see comments on this particular artifact so that it kind of stays contextual. That header piece is one of the things you see when you go through the quick walkthrough. It cannot be disabled, and it appears at the top of every page, but it doesn't allow you to put anything in it other than text. Like the student can't embed an image. Like say they wanted to really make it look very pretty. It should either be disabled or make it a full text editor box where they can import an image. And also the sharing of the portfolios shares only a snapshot at that time when you create that email ticket that allows someone in. It's not live. So if the student goes in and then updates content, the recipient of that sharing link won't see the new content. They only see what was in the portfolio at the time the link was created. In addition, since we made up our slides earlier in the week, I'm also investigating a possible issue with one of my students. I'm not sure yet if one of the PDFs she was uploading has a problem, or maybe she was just uploading too many onto one artifact, but she got an error message when attaching that periodicals assignment to her portfolio. That periodicals assignment is they have to find 9 articles and submit PDFs of each of the articles, so it might have been a size issue, because she had 9 PDFs on the one artifact. So that might have been a problem there. We're still looking into that. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at blackboard@jjay.cuny.edu. That is a shared email address, so all 3 of us get it. It's easier to give that one out than any of our personal accounts. So let us know if you have a question or if you have a concern, and or feedback would be more than welcome to hearing it. Thank you.
Thank you.